Dear Dr. Christine Mann, President of the Catholic Committee of European Education, dear General Secretary, ladies and gentlemen, Father and Sister in Christ, this is my pleasure and honor to welcome you in Ukraine and to convey to you the sincere words of gratitude in behalf of all Catholics in Ukraine for your good choice that you decided to have your 88th General Assembly here in the capital of Ukraine, in Kyiv. So we are very happy to host you here in Kyiv, and I wish you a pleasant stay and fruitful work. Why I would say that you have done good choice?
Pourquoi avez-vous fait un bon choix?
Because right now in Ukraine, we are discussing a project of new law on education in our country. We are the post-Soviet society in the way of very fast emancipation. In the Soviet Union, education, especially the school education, was a way how to control and manipulate the citizens. The very nature of that education used to be called the scientific knowledge, to convey to the students, to the pupil, the scientific vision of the world. And as you have imagined, that scientific knowledge means the atheistic one. Church was considered like a source of superstition. And knowledge and education and the church existence was two opposite dimensions of the human being. But very often today in Ukraine, we as Christians feel to be, we do feel to have this, I would say, very strong challenge to convey to our society that education is something more than only to transmit to somebody some kind of knowledge and skills. So education means also a formation of the personality of the students, to give them a possibility to lay some strong foundation for their whole life. And very often in the state schools right now in Ukraine, we have very aggressive environment. And even in this society, which, as I said, is undergoing very fast process of emancipation, parents very often will look for some religious environment as a protected space, friendly space for their children. So we Catholics in Ukraine, we are minority. Right now we have more or less 46 million of the citizens of Ukraine. Majority of them are Orthodox. Catholic Church is present in 3 different jurisdictions. The biggest Catholic community is Ukrainian Greek Catholic Church, which has more or less 4.5 million faithful. We have as well a Roman Catholic Church, which has more or less 100,000 faithful, according to the official statistics. And also in Transcarpathia, we have the third jurisdiction, the Mukachevo eparchy diocese, that is also Greek Catholic Church sui juris, which not belongs to the community of the Ukrainian Greek Catholic Church, but it's under the direct jurisdiction of the Holy See. So we have 2 rights, Byzantine Catholic Church and Roman Catholic Church. Byzantine Catholic Church has basically 2 jurisdictions, Ukrainian Greek Catholic Church and Eparchy of Mukachevo, which is in the Transcarpathia region, not belongs to our community, but under the direct jurisdiction of the Holy See. So, as you can see, we are a very rich country. But even if we Catholics, we are minority, but we believe that we have much to say to the Ukrainian society. So this new project of law on education in Ukraine gives a possibility to the churches and religious organizations to have their own schools and universities. Because 25 years of the independence of Ukraine, state still remains the biggest, I would say, owner of the system of the education in Ukraine. And the big discussion is, it is positive or negative for Ukraine to allow to the churches to have their own system of the education in Ukraine. Because even among the religious society, there are many different ideas on that issue. Because perhaps if we would say Orthodox school in Ukraine, that expression means school only for Orthodox. If we will have the Jewish school in Ukraine, it means school or university only for Jews. But we have a unique chance to explain to the Ukrainian society what does it mean, the Catholic system of education. Catholic school doesn't mean school only for Catholics. Everybody is welcomed. But nevertheless, we have some values, some, I would say, coordinates how to behave in the civil society that we would like to transmit to the citizens of Ukraine today. So a very proposition of the Catholic education is a challenge and provocation for the system of the education in Ukraine. Because in one hand, that system of education means a space of freedom, a possibility to meet different persons, different ideas, to have a place of encounter, even between different religions, and way to understand our future as a country and a nation. And Catholic education means to have a possibility to transmit some human values, European values, Christian values to the Ukrainian society today. Catholic education means high level of the education, knowledge, and scientific knowledge, which we have to open to our people in our country. It means free access to the best level, best examples, best way how to receive an education in today's world. For many people, Catholic education means also a social lift, a possibility to have access to a good education for those who are poor and marginalized. I can imagine that in your societies in the Western Europe, the biggest challenge which you have is a very strong secularization, which means a tendency to eliminate the presence of the church and Catholic education from the civil space, from the society. But our challenge is how we can respond positively to this new possibility to enter in this public space of the education of Ukraine. Especially after the so-called revolution of dignity, there is also a big discussion on European values in Ukrainian society. We have some discussion between Euro-optimists and Euro-skeptics. But this is a very different discussion from that maybe you do have in your countries. Because in Ukraine, very often European values are presented like a secular one. Perhaps Euro-optimist very often will be pro-LGBT, those who will foster so-called ideology of gender and so on. Euroscepticism very often means that, well, we have to defend our Christian identity, Christian values, especially on marriage and family. And you can imagine how ideology is entering in this discussion. So very often Euroscepticism would be called Putin values in opposition to those desire of the Euro integration of Ukraine. So it is why your presence and your witness for us, it's so crucial and important. Because your association even means that it is possible to be European and Christians. It is possible to be Catholics, but to have a school open to everybody, to the students who come from different churches and maybe religions. That Catholic means a high level of the education and formation of the free and responsible personality. That Catholic means also a possibility to have a friendly environment where we can propose to the Ukrainian society new image of teacher and educator, which is someone who would not manipulate your children, but will provide for them the integral education and help to develop their own skills and talents. So it is why our expectations from your work here are very high.
Voilà pourquoi nous attendons beaucoup de votre travail ici.
But nevertheless, we are trying to develop the system of the Catholic education in Ukraine as well. So Ukrainian Greek Catholic Church, which I represent, we have today 7 Catholic kindergartens. We have 11 Catholic schools, and we do have Ukrainian Catholic University. It was an idea of my predecessor to have this 3 levels of the Catholic education in Ukraine. But even for our church community, it is so important to be well informed and to be convinced that we do need undertake this huge challenge to establish, create, and develop the Catholic system of the education in our country. Before I was elected as a head of the Ukrainian Greek Catholic Church, I was a bishop for the Ukrainians in Argentina. And it is how, for the first time, I discovered the Catholic system of the education. Because our Basilian father and sisters have several Catholic schools, but one Catholic school is direct responsibility of the Ukrainian diocese in Argentina. I remember one very peaceful and quiet evening, I received a phone call for our school saying, "Bishop, you have to come because children burned the school." It is how I spent almost a month in that Catholic school trying to understand all that system of the education in Argentina, and then the whole idea of the Catholic education as well. It is why today in Ukraine I'm convinced that the Catholic education is a crucial presence of the Church in Ukrainian society. But in this journey, we are only in the beginning, and your help, your mature ideas, how to say in English? All that you acquired in your experience. For us, it's crucial, and not only for the Catholics, for that minority in Ukraine, but for whole Ukrainian society as well. It is why it was a good choice to come, and we are so grateful to you. Thank you very much.